Thank you, Sanjay. Ladies and gentlemen, my fellow friends of the Solar Arena, and one and all who have gathered in this nice occasion, a warm welcome and a very good afternoon to you all. And it's indeed my pleasure and honor to be here in front of you all to express some of the views what I have on the rooftop, thereby achieving energy independence, which is indeed a need of the hour. I'm Ashok Tangave. I handle the business development for Godrej Renewables. To quickly update you about who we are, Godrej & Boyce is a flagship company of the Godrej Group in active existence since the year 1897. So you can call it 116 years of existence in India, and having worked extensively for domestic as well as global support for human in one way or another. So that's the basic mantra of Godrej. Godrej believes to touch the human lives in one way or another, right from the day or right from the time the man gets up in the morning until he goes to bed. There are some products which are the key essentials of him, which always goes into his application. And it is a family-run company with 11,000 plus employees and having a pan-India presence of more than 1 lakh dealers and channel partners across India, and having more than 20 branches and 51 showrooms across India. So anywhere you go in India, any nook and corner, you will always be not be so surprised to see the banner of Godrej. And you can always barge into any of its outlets, be it an appliance or be it a locks division or whatever. The mission as such is enriching the quality of human life every day, everywhere, as I said. There are 13 divisions within the Godrej & Boyce family. To name a few, locks, which we all know. When you get to the name of application lock, you get to instantly connect with the name Godrej. And others include appliances, security solutions, storage solutions, precision engineering. And I represent the group which is electrical electronics, under which Godrej Renewables is also a part of it. Indeed, we could address it as a new feather in the cap, and in active operations since the February last year. To give a quick snapshot about our success story so far, with our operations from the February of the last year, we have been able to create a name for ourselves. Earlier there were many occasions wherein when we used to go to a customer's place and when we used to tell them that Godrej & Boyce is also now into this active EPC integration, there were eyebrows raised. So we have to instill confidence in them and tell them, yes boss, we are there of course in this business as well to support you and to support the growing needs of solar. And here are some quick pictorials of a 250 kilowatt installation which is done in our Ambattur campus in Storage Solutions Group in Chennai, and another one which is a 78.3 kilowatt system in Vikhroli, Mumbai. So friends, you are most welcome to visit any of this. Whomever happens to be from this particular cities, please do take a chance to come down and visit us. The one about the project in Vikhroli, it's indeed one of an interesting step. It is a project under the Platinum LEED certifications. So every single unit of energy generation counts. So if we fall deficit, then what happens is penalty. Not from the MNRE or from the JNSM, but this time from the end client who has as such complied and got the certification if we don't meet up with it. And we have to meet up with an energy generation of 1.2 lakhs per year. And it's also on top of one of the very tallest buildings within this Godrej's campus at 130 feet. So these were some of the very earliest slides to give a background about my company. I'll now quickly run you through some of the basic facts which we all know. So I won't take much time. And before I go to further slides, I would also like to state a point here that we are not going to present here any of the facts which is not known to people. Everybody of us are aware of what are the things which are going to be covered in these slides to follow. We very well will be just be a tool to just refresh those in the minds of the audience seated here. And some of the things which are the positive attributes are some key essentials which we also as an industrial member connected with solar feel that these things should happen. So we'll see through them in the next slides. In the solar fact, if you see, one of the key contributors is the carbon dioxide emission cut. So every single unit of generation is actually controlling or curbing a total of 0.95 kilograms of carbon dioxide emission that would actually have been let out into this atmosphere. So when you actually go in through solar, you are promoting greenness and you stand a role model for others. Yes, off-grid market opportunity. There is a 3.2 gigawatt of projects that are being targeted in the three phases, 1, 2 and 3. And Shri Tarun Kapoor as such indeed gave us an overall nice picture about this, so I won't be talking much about this. Indeed, if you summarize the sanctions that have happened in the further slides, you will be able to see that this is totaling to a value of 225 megawatt actually. Because when we indeed did the market exploration and did the collect of this information, we were able to gather this information. But in today's presentation in the forenoon session, he very clearly gave a picture to 52.5 megawatt. So I am as such trying to convey the fact that was presented in the morning session. And if we see here, the good positive aspect is the sanctions or the allotments have always exceeded the targets. So though we all are of the apprehension that yes, the market is really not growing to the extent which it should grow. If you talk with facts and figures, the things are not really so. Always the sanctions or the allotments exceed the target. So that's why I just put it out in green. So it is significantly visible to all of you. And with regard to this 13-14, things have been put on a kind of standstill mode. We are yet to come up with the allocations grant from MNRE. So when we take a case of this global solar as well as Indian solar, how ahead are they, or how are we trying to take them as our role models? Of course, we all would agree to the fact that the countries like Germany are early leaders and followed eventually by Italy, China as well as the US. Whereas India has quite a strong bit of a potential to go for solar. At the same time, we should also agree to the fact that it is quite nascent and it is still in the developing mode. And the highest cumulative, if you see in Germany, it is 24.6 gigawatt, whereas in the total summary which we saw in the earlier slides, it is not even totaling greater than 225 megawatt in the rooftop segment we are talking about. And there have always been drivers. If you see that no business can as such drive or grow significantly without an active driver. And there has been significant drivers when we take the global scenario. There has always been a proper fit mechanism. There has been an incentivization schemes available and the easy shift of approvals, which is indeed perceived as one of the lengthy processes as far as India is concerned. So when we go to the customers, the first question they ask is, if I give you a purchase order, how sooner will you be able to start my project? Then we have to tell them the step-by-step procedures and how the system works, how the MNRE approval, there is something called an MNRE approval, we have to present the DPR to them. Then upon the successful approval of the DPR, only then we could even commence the project. So they ask us, is this the only choice I have? Don't I have a better way to go about it? So we always have to tell them, yes, certain things are there which we are supposed to follow, but things are eventually expected to be better in the days to come. And if we talk about the electricity demand that is going to be met by this rooftop PV systems, it is going to be 40%, especially in the European Union region. So whereas in India we are only targeting to a size of 3.2 gigawatt, and we hope that we will accomplish the same and we will realize the dream. And the other aspect is those countries have indeed very less turnovers. If you see the case of any of the European nations, they have quite indeed less turnovers as compared to us. But they still have better policies and the better urge to go green than us, who indeed are trying to bridge the gap between the global as well as the Indian experience of solar. A quick view of how the cities globally are with regard to solar, how much have they gone ahead. And if you see the basic underlying factor, there has always been a drive or a catalyst, be it an incentive program or be it an FIT availability or a support or a low-cost financing, which we will be touching upon in the slides to come, which we feel that should be the promotional factors. Indian cities, yes, as such, are coming up quite neck to neck. They are trying to be as fast in this race, running along with these global things. And friends, how would you feel if you all experience a shock? That is what exactly we are doing every year. We are feeling it with every new year, which is inviting us. We always come across with a power shock. And see, with this tabulation here, there is always a proportional hike year after year. Have we ever heard across that there is any particular state which has gone with a declination or fall of the power price? Nil. Though there are new schemes coming up, especially the state of Tamil Nadu, they are coming up with schemes of ideas of this nuclear power plant. But still, things are yet to be firmed up, and the ground reality is we all are releasing a power shock, which sooner or later, if you don't control, it is going to take over us. And many of my friends whom are from the other than the solar industry indeed ask me, solar is indeed a high tariff subject. Why should I really be interested in that? What am I going to get as a common man? Why should I go for solar? So here is the graph, friends. It is indeed not so. If you take a look at this a DG cost or else an average cost of energy, the solar is significantly lesser. And yes, the scale of economics as such does work out, and the bigger the system is, the eventuality of the better tariff and a competitive tariff is assessed there. But when we have something as the National Solar Mission, and when we are trying to go green, and when we are trying to compete with the global market, yes, we indeed are not going to be far behind in the race. The days to come is going to really take us closer to that. So I just wanted to touch upon this fact that it is not indeed what we think, that solar is not an unaffordable commodity. This is only an interesting graph which we indeed presented some of the states and the state-wise as such commercial tariff which are existing or prevailing in those states. And against that, we are going to pitch upon the levelized cost of energy of solar power with subsidy and without a subsidy, and also that of a diesel generator system. If you see the red line, the solar LCOE without even the subsidy, though it is slightly higher than the one with subsidy, it is far competitive than the ones run with DG. It's indeed a very painful fact that many companies as such whom are thriving, as such establishments thriving in the state of Tamil Nadu or the southern states, they are still okay and they can still bear the burden of running for hours together with the DG. But when it comes to going for a solar system, they always take a back foot. So they even go to the extent of exploring the technology involved in it. What am I going to get about it? Even you will not be surprised when people ask us that for a rooftop system of a 15 kilowatt or a 20 kilowatt, they ask us for schemes, can I have a tracking mechanism? So we tell them, boss, this is indeed a small system, so don't go in for so big a jump, go in small proportions, go for a small system, use it, see it, believe it, then go for a exponentially bigger system. But the point I wanted to make here is, when they go to such an extent of deep digging of the basics, finally they don't end up in taking conclusions. They finally end up in paying for a DG system and installing in the campus rather than going for the solar, which is indeed in the long run. If you see this graph, the graphics of some races. There are two ways which we can look at this graph. One is, if there is a specific sanction demand for a client, and let us imagine beyond the sanction limit, he is supposed to still support his power requirements. So he has two choices. He either has a choice to go in for a DG system and support himself for his extra requirement, or else he can go in for a solar. So when he goes for solar or a DG, how it is presented here. And the other way to look at is this: when there are many people who are coming in and eventually putting up systems, and let us say in an industrial hub there are 20 different companies, each contributing to only 10 kilowatt of installation. So 2010 gives you a total of 200 kilowatt installation. So that much amount of 200 kilowatt equivalent energy generation is going to be lesser, or draw is going to be lesser from the grid. So just imagine, friends, how big India is and how many commercial establishments and industrial setups we have, and how many such 10 kilowatts can even be set up as a pilot project. Challenges on the rooftop, if you take a look at, the predominant factor is the upfront capital cost. Yes, we will have to agree to the fact, and that is also assisted by the non-availability of low-cost financing. When the capex is quite high and when there is no low-cost financing availability, eventually it is perceived as a burden. No doubt about it. And the other element is the no clear mechanism definition. So when we break it out into other aspects, like we can categorize this into issues related with monitoring and estimation of a correct fit or a financial stability. So I'll touch upon this, the monitoring issues. So by monitoring, what actually we mean is, suppose let us have a client who is putting up a system on his roof, and if it is going to be aided still with the feed-in tariff mechanism, whatever is going to feed into the grid is going to get incentive out of it. So what are the Popeye case are the full prevention measures that we have indeed to see to it that any kind of the grid power which is drawn